Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, to ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and today is the first day that I have a video camera on me doing a solo show. For the last 5.5 years of podcasting, I've just had my mic with my computer in my studio or living room, on the couch, wherever, and I just talk into it. And for the interviews, that is on video. And so I'm used to doing that. But I realize that YouTube is really big for podcasting, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, which is record more of my solo episodes and edit those and put them on YouTube. And so that is what I'm doing. And so if it's a little bit off today, I feel a little off just seeing myself on video as I'm doing this. But hey, I've decided to play a bigger game and fill in all the holes that I know of things that I should be doing to grow the Artist Academy and help more artists and get everything out there. And this is one. So here I am. Hi, YouTube. If you can see me on video, so for the ones who can't, I am just sitting down in my living room. I put a plant right beside me, but I'm sitting on a pillow and yeah, we're as comfy as we can be. But what you can't see, actually, so a little bit more behind the scenes, something random before we start to talk about art and business talk and making money with murals and all the things, is what I'm looking at right now that YouTube can't even see is I put my computer right next to a window because natural light is the best light. And if I'm going to do this and watch myself on video, it needs to have good lighting so I look the absolute best that I can. After just getting done with painting, I literally have a pink hoodie on that I've been painting in all day. But outside of this window, I see 4 peacocks roosted on a railing of the back deck, and then 1 turkey right below them. The turkey thinks she's a peacock. And so that's my view right now. You'll have to go to my Instagram stories. I share this in my Instagram stories all the time. And so you'll have to go to my Instagram stories to see the beautiful peacocks and turkeys and all the chickens and stuff on our small farm. But yeah, okay. So I recorded last week on the subject of making $100,000 in 100 days, which is, you don't necessarily have to listen to last week's episode. This is a part 2 to it. So I'll just give you a briefing of it. And then I'm sure we'll have a part 3 as well, because this is a big subject. And this is a headline that gets a lot of attention, and I know it. And this is something that excites me. And while something is exciting, I think there's something to, taking hold of whatever excites you and doing it right then, and not putting it off and saying, oh, I'll do that after the holidays, or I'll do, this and that. It's just like, I'm going to talk about the things that are exciting to me, and hopefully you find them exciting and interesting and helpful as well. So last week I announced that starting January 1, I'm going to be on this challenge task. Aside from, so we always do the 31-day challenge, which is create something every single day for the month of January, right? And I'm going to be doing that too, because it all adds up to, like, it all goes together. But I also wanted to do this, make 100K in 100 days, so $100,000 starting January 1st, ending, what is that? Like mid-April, right? And that's the time frame. Wait, January, February, March. Yeah, mid-April or like beginning of April. And I had this idea because, well, this year specifically, I have taken it really slow. I have done a lot of just for fun things, and now it came time to the end of the year, and I'm like, wait, I remember those big goals that I set of making 200K this year. Well, I'm about halfway there, and I have about 4 months to go of the year. And I was like, okay, I've got to like really kick it into gear. So I don't want that to happen again in 2025, and so I'm just going to start off the year with a bang. That way, if I do decide to let up a little bit in the summer and have some fun time and only work 1 or 2 days a week, then I can do that. And I know I'll have this like foundation of income and just really for me to I'm a big goal setter, and I know that if I am halfway there, like in the first quarter of the year, that's going to make me feel really good. Or I could take that momentum and keep going, or just relax. I don't know. I have no idea how I'm going to feel in a few months, but right now I am in work mode, and 100K in 100 days, that's what's happening. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I'm going to go about that, but I also want to share I am a full-time muralist. I paint for people, residential and commercial murals, mostly for businesses, obviously. But I was actually I just got done with painting a pastel rainbow scene in a kid's room. And it wasn't the most high paying job, but I had a heck of a fun time with it. I came home. Now I have time to spare, and now which allows me to video record this podcast and figure all of that out. But so I do murals, but my other half of my business is coaching. And so, full transparency, I'm planning on doing 50K in murals, working 2 days a week, and then 50K in coaching, working about 2 days a week. So I don't plan on working more than 4 days a week, obviously. If you're good at math, you can figure that out on your own without me saying that. But that's my plan. That's what I plan on doing. And so how am I going to do that? It's a combination of a lot of things, really. It's taking everything that I've known to work in order to get mural jobs and in order to help more students achieve their goals, is taking everything that I've learned in the past 5.5 years, almost 6 years, oh my gosh, of teaching muralists and 10 plus years of muraling. I'm going back to the drawing board. And what I'll do is, I need to do this. I haven't quite done this yet. I have an idea what I'm going to do. But so for anybody who wants to do this as well, this is the first step. This is the first steps that I'm going to take, is getting super clear on the goal and writing down the goal and then working backwards from it. And in my case, I'm writing down all of the ways that I have ever gotten a mural job, and specifically all of the ways that I've gotten the big mural jobs, because that's what I want. I don't necessarily want the small stuff anymore. Although it's so funny because I say that because I just did a small $500 job painting pastel rainbows today, but that doesn't count because I had a great time doing it and I'd do it again. But so for my thing, I don't want to I don't want to take on a job just for the money. If I'm going to take on a small job, it's going to be one that I really enjoy, like today. But if it's something that I don't enjoy as much, like, I don't know, I like to do lettering, but it's not as fun as pastel rainbows, right? For you, it might be different. But for me, I know what the things that I really like to do. And for the right amount of money, I will still do just about any kind of painting. Just about. Yeah, pretty much anything. Yeah, for the right amount of painting. Yeah. And so I'm writing down all of the ways that I've gotten those bigger jobs, and I'm focusing on that. And a lot of it is networking and putting myself out there and meeting new people. So I signed up to be in local business to business groups and go meet in person, because that's where business owners are. I am doubling down, posting on places like LinkedIn, because that's where business owners are. I don't want to do a ton of residential stuff, although those can be profitable. It's not my favorite. And so to find the business owners, it's figuring out where are business owners. I'm putting an ad in our local paper, and just all of the stuff that I'm like, okay, I'm trying a couple new things too, which is the ad in the local paper thing. But taking all the things that I know to work and then doubling down on that. So I really highly encourage you, if you have had a big job, or if you've had a job that you like, or a small job that you like, or a medium-sized job that you would do again, right now, how did you get that? Specifically, how did you get that? And then do that 10 times a week. So if it was posting in a Facebook group, if it was meeting new people, figure out ways to meet new people. To do, just reworking exactly what has worked for you, because it's different for everybody. Some people are really good in person and some people are really good online, but not so good in person. It's figuring out what's fun for you. What do you like to do? I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm doing the in-person stuff. I'm doing the online stuff, and we'll just kind of see what lands. But another thing that I did this week, as of 2 days ago, during the recording of this, two days ago, it would have been several weeks before you're actually hearing it, but it doesn't matter. In real time, 2 days ago, I handed over my credit card to an agency and gave them $8,000. Yeah, I gave an agency who trains VAs basically to on the subjects of digital marketing and social media and all the things that I know I should be doing more of. I need to do more video editing. I need to get, more content out there, more, just a lot of things that I have had on my to-do list for a really long time that I had time for before I had a child, and that I don't have time for now, or I don't want to make time for it because it's just not quite as fun for me anymore. I would much rather, be very present at night rather than editing videos at night. Or, it's so I figured out now, since becoming a mom, that all the things that I used to do to get a bunch of business, it's like I just don't have time for that anymore. So no, I'm willing to pay a little bit in order to get all of that outreach stuff back, and in order to just stay focused on painting and coaching other artists. And so I handed over $8,000 a couple days ago. And let me tell you how that felt. I wasn't like, yeah, take my money, I'm so excited. I was like, bleh. Like, get up. I like feeling, I called my husband, who, okay, every relationship, if there's checks and balances in it, usually there's one person who is a saver and one person who's a spender. Usually it works out well like that in my experience. He is the spender and I am the saver. So if he were to call me and say that he's dropping 8 grand in his business, I'd be like, wait, can you show me a plan of how you're going to make this back? Can you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I would have questioned him. I called him and I was like, okay, this is what it is. Basically, I'm hiring a VA, but they're backed by an agency, and the agency trains them on exactly how to do this and that. And I show them how to do it for my business. And it's for 5 months. They come on for 5 months, and so they help do work for me. It's a 40-hour-a-week job. So I'm going to have 2 virtual assistants, one that I already have that runs the back end, this new one, plus I have a podcast editor. But so this new one is going to be working way more hours than I've ever had. But I just, for 5 months, I want to give it a try, and they need the money up front. They need it right now because they're going to train them. And then I was like, but at least then, it's a tax write-off, and this is, we need a tax write-off this year for sure, because we're both killing it. And it's like, and I explained that, so he's like, yeah, sounds good. Okay. And I was like, well, do you, what do you think about this? Well, he's like, yeah, sounds good. And I was like, give me some pullback. But he's a spender. He knows that if I think it's a good idea, even though I doubt myself, it's probably a good idea. And I want to do this. And so he's listening to all that. It's like, okay, this is a good idea. This is going to make you money. You're just nervous about it. Maybe you should just do it. I was like, okay, thanks. He's kind of like my husband / business coach in a way. And so yeah. So not only is this $8,000 investment going to help me and I'm going to have somebody backing me to create more content, help with do more emails to nurture, just a bunch of stuff that I know I'm dropping the ball. For me, it gives me also a bit of pressure. And this kind of pressure is good specifically for me with my art business in the time of right now. So if I were to have done this last year or the year before, when I was pregnant and I had a baby, like now he's a toddler, he's 2, feeling like myself again. So I feel like I can, now is the time to do this. But if it was the past couple of years, it was not the right time for me. And taking on something like this would not have gone over well because my mind was elsewhere. And I had other worries too. I was like, I have a baby. Like, what is income going to be like? Like, I don't know what kind of time I'm going to have. Like, it's just, that was a kind of pressure that I didn't need then, but it is the pressure that I need now, because if I am handing over $8,000, which I did, which they've charged already, it's gone. it's spent. Contracts are signed. My VA is currently being trained to help me. And it's not just that, it's this company that we're going to do a strategy call and all the things. It's going to help me get my ducks in a row and make a plan, and then have help doing it. And yes, even I need help doing that in certain areas. I don't feel like I need that help in the mural side because I've been doing that for 10 plus years. But this teaching artists online side, it's just, I've been doing it for 5.5, and I'm just at a point where I think I need more help. And I think it's okay to share that, because it's like, there's so many things going on in my head of things to do, where it's really easy for me on the art side to focus on certain areas that make me money and do certain tasks because I've done it so much. But on the helping student side and on building an online business side, I've been doing that half as long. And I've now at the point where I'm like, okay, I know that if I invest this, it's going to help me make more money in the long run. Because anytime I've done that in the past with a course, and it has helped so much. And even just the amount that I've dove into the program that I've invested into with the VA and the backing behind it, I'm like, this is so worth it. I'm so glad I did it so far. And it's been 2 days. So I'll report back. I think this will be a really good follow-up thing to do in mid-April, and see, after the 100K in 100 days is done, or after the whole 5 months of hiring a VA, another VA is done. I'm definitely going to talk about this after, but I'm hopeful. And I'm hopeful because it's lighting up a fire under me, to where I have some support now. I'm getting a little bit of guidance, a little more guidance, and more support. Anyway, I have a lovely virtual assistant, Anne, and she's amazing. But there are things she doesn't know how to do, and there's things she just doesn't quite have an eye for. And so I'm getting another VA to come in and maybe help train her. And just, I know we're gonna all work together, and I'll report back to see how it goes. But what this investment is doing to me is, I know, because I've done it many, many times in the past, is once January comes around, and usually I'm hyped up for January, and then February comes and I kind of lose a little bit of momentum in February and March, and sometimes April too. And I just kind of take a seat back, and it's so good for any of us to stop and smell the roses. And I actually planted a bunch of roses, like 17 roses, different varieties this year. So I literally stopped and smelled the roses this summer with gardening. And so it's good to do that at certain moments. Obviously, I'm not saying that, if you have a moment to rest, you shouldn't. But for me, I know what's best for me right now. Like, I deeply know it. And me investing in this and saying, I have this new VA for 5 months and that is it. It has lit a fire underneath me, and it's gonna keep it going. It's like an investment in my motivation. And I've done the work, I've done the health stuff this year, I've done the getting my ducks in a row in other ways. Now this is insurance. This is security. This is, I have somebody to go to with my questions now. I have somebody to go to say, hey, I need help with this week. Can you? And really, what I'm excited about is giving them a bunch of video that I have already have, and I'm just not editing and using, and seeing what they can do with it. Because right now it's my online presence is way less than what it used to be. And I have so many great things that, like murals, coloring books, small group coaching, the $37 Artist Academy membership, my book, like I have all of these things that I've worked so hard to create, or I love to deliver, like painting and small group coaching and all this stuff. And not as many people are seeing it like they should. And that's on me. I'm dropping the ball. So now a little bit of weight is lifted, because I'm like, okay, all right, now I'm going to have some help and I'm just going to feel like I'm not, dropping the ball on certain things that are wasting time and or just not, I don't know. I have this thing in the back of my head and hopefully you can relate, but I get really antsy when I feel like I'm not living up to my potential. And I struggled with this for a little bit because I was like, like why do I need more? Why do I need to make more money? Why do I need to get bigger stuff? And it's like obviously that's supernatural to want to go up to the next level and whatnot. But I had this burning inside of me. Like whenever I was first, oh gosh, when I like before I started painting full time, I was working at a bank. That was my last like W-2 employee job. And I was like, this is just not it. It's not. And I hated having to be somewhere at a certain time. Like it's silly, but or having to answer to somebody. And I just didn't like the structure. I didn't like it at all. And I just knew that I could do something on my own. And I seen people making money by posting on social media. And I was like, I can do this. This is my thing. And I just had this burning inside of me. And just, I put off starting a family. I put off getting married. I put out all this stuff because I was like, get out of my way. I need to do this for myself or I'm not going to be happy as a mom, as a wife, and anything. And that's just what happened. And I'm so glad I did that. And then it felt like a few years ago, I was like, okay, now I feel like I've achieved the thing that I wanted to achieve right now. And like, what is there more? Like, what? And I decided, okay, well, I'm kind of done with the whole like rat race of it for a second. Like I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe it's time to have a baby. And I really like, I've gotten to ride the coattails of my own success the last couple of years and like all the work that I put in with now getting a bunch of referrals and all the things. And it's been a really easy couple of years with just not putting in a ton of effort, but still making a great income. Like this year, I want to say I probably have worked on average 20 hours a week this year on average. Some weeks was like 10 hours. Some weeks like now is probably 30 hours a week. And so on average 20 hours a week this year and I'm going to be not profiting, sorry, but like overall making $200,000 in my art business, doing half coaching and then half murals, which is just nuts. And so this next year, I'm like, okay, what if I actually really tried? What if I actually really put some gas on this fire? What could happen? And my goal that's a little scary to say out loud because when you make a goal, you don't want to like be completely held to it, right? And it's like almost looking down upon if you don't raise up to it. My goal this year is to work 30 hours a week at maximum and make $300,000 for 2025. I like have a little bit of chills, but I think that's what goals are for, right? Like they should scare you a little bit. Handing over that $8,000, it scares me a little bit. it does. Handing over any kind of money for help at first is weird. I remember when I hired my first VA, I was like, okay, like it wasn't for very much, but I was just like, okay, it's not fun. It's not fun hiring help for the first couple times and sending that money over. It's like, it's weird, but then you get used to it pretty quickly, right? Like now I am so happy to hand over a couple $100 to an artist to come and paint with me for the day. I'm like, thank you so much. And they're like, thank you for teaching me all this stuff. And I'm like, no, they like here, take the money. But at first it's weird. It's like, because I think most of us, me really, I'm talking about, I have this like, you need to hold on to all profits idea. And it's held me back in several ways. One being back in the prime time of when like Facebook ads were a really great thing. Like I didn't invest in them. I was like, no, I'm going to grow it organically, which is great because now I can teach it that way. Like I don't pay for ads, so I can teach you how to do it too. But I'm like, part of me is like, I literally missed being able to target very, very, very specific people with Facebook ads cheaply. Nowadays, it's a lot harder, and I'm still putting it off. But ads are also another way that this year I'm going to create a really good video, a really good post showcasing what I do as a muralist, coach, all the things that I offer, and I'm going to put a little bit of ad behind them. And the new VA is going to also help me create ad stuff for it. So it's a bunch of stuff like this that I'm like, okay, I realize my money blocks are holding me back. And I realize this too because my husband spends money like that all the time, and he makes quite a bit more than me. And he's like, it's part of doing business. And I'm like, I don't like it. But it's so much easier having people around me that are used to doing this. Because if I were to call my parents, for instance, and say, hey, I just dropped $8,000 to get help this year, my mom would probably gasp. She would be like, do you need that? Are you sure? Like, can't you just, and part of me is like, can't I just, stay up a little later making this content? Like, I don't hate video editing. Like, why am I outsourcing something that I don't really mind doing? I just don't really have the time. Like, there's all this stuff going on in my head of like, why I shouldn't do this, why I should not hire help, why like, no, like, my pride is like, you can figure this out. Like you can do this. But after about a year of just kind of like, yeah, like I'm like, okay, let's do something here. And I also messaged another one of my mentors, and who's also a friend who is ahead of me. And I think that's what a mentor should be, right? It's like somebody who's doing something very similar to what you want to do, but is doing more. But we're actually in different fields, but I still consider her a mentor. And I needed to talk it through. I was like, okay, I just got off a call with this agency who is super legit, and they know what they're doing, and they're going to help me grow my coaching business. And they want $8,000 and like blah blah, like, but I knew in the back of my head that this mentor friend, I was like, she pays out probably $8,000, like more than $8,000 a month for help in her art business. So I just wanted to talk to somebody who normalizes doing this kind of thing. Like, hi, like, I'm just gonna, like, I'm gonna do this, blah, blah. And so we talked about it, and it just made me feel a lot better. She's like, just, cross your T's and dot your I's, and like, make sure that, they're legit and everything is good, and like, it'll be good. And so we did. Here we go. Okay. I can't wait to report till afterwards. But I mentioned this too, because when I coach people, a lot of the times to get into the Artist Academy membership, it's only $37. But it's funny the resistance that I hear with artists with just that small amount. Like, they'll tell me that they can't afford it. And I'm like, if you can't afford $37 a month, like, cancel anytime. Like, pay $37 and then cancel for the end of the month. And then that's it. And just like binge my content in order to figure out how to get more jobs. And like that is wild to me. I'm like, and the people who tell me that they can't afford $37 a month, I'm like, you are the ones who need it the most. Like, the absolute most. not not counting. So I have a lot of conversations with artists who want to invest a little bit more too. And they're like, I've in your membership and I've watched some videos and it's helped me, and thank you so much. But so they're like, but I have lost my motivation. I can't make myself go in there and watch any more videos. I'm gonna have to cancel. And I'd be like, okay, that's totally fine. And then I'm like, well, I do have this other program where I will hold you accountable. I will meet with you and a couple other people in a very small group every single week. And I will make you do it. They're like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I need. I need that, because to do it on my own, like, I have so many other things and I'm not sure exactly how to do it. Like, basically just like I was explaining with hiring the agency, like, it's like, there's just so much going on. And it's like, I just need a map. I need a map of exactly the things I need to do, because I don't have a lot of time. And that's what artists tell me as well. They're like, I don't have a ton of time. What are the exact things I need to be doing? And like, when and what should I do first and how exactly should I word that? And can I just like direct message you? And because it's just some people need more. And then sometimes I tell them the cost of it. I'm like, yeah, I do this, but it's about $3,500 for 3 months of coaching. They're like, oh my gosh, no way. I could never do that. I'm like, no, like, but you're going to make like double that at least. And they're like, God, I don't know. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I totally get it because I hike sort of, not sort of, but in a way wanted my husband to like talk me out of spending $8,000. I was like, well, like it's the same thing. Sometimes it costs money to make money. And I've dropped like $1,500 on a course before. I've dropped, $200 on to learn a small thing. I've dropped, like stuff like that, but never 8. That was a lot. And so every level though has more expenses, has more responsibility, has more negative comments. Like I was talking in a previous episode that I'm in a phase right now where I'm like, okay, I want to up level. And I know that what up leveling is, it's just sometimes you get the bad. And this is the bad. Having that feeling of investing in the next thing that I know I need, or I know that I could really use to make my life easier and to help me move faster and to teach me more. It's like that bad feeling is the thing that I have to move over and cross. And I have to cross that bridge with a smile on my face. No, I try to. But I think it's the same thing for all of us. And like, exactly what bridge is next for you. If you've never invested anything, if you only listen to podcasts, try buying someone's book. Like there are mural books out there. Mine is Mural Money. Go to muralmoney.com. It's only $17 for the audio. If you've never done that, like that's your first step. There are other books out there. Like I just had a replay episode with Morgan Bricka, who has the Mural Artist Handbook. Like get hers too. Like get all the things and read all the things. Or the next level is joining somebody's course or membership. Like the Artist Academy is $37 a month. And I'm sure I'll do something to where if you buy for the year, it'll be a bit less. But you can go to artistacademy.co to sign up for $37 a month. And yeah, you know what you need. And if you're in a membership and you've done a course and you're like, I'm still not where I want to be. Like, first off, things take time. So maybe if you've learned some things, maybe you just need to implement them over and over. That could possibly be the thing. And that's the story that I had in my head too. I was like, I know the things I need to do, but I just need to do them. And I just wasn't doing them. And so now I know, okay, I've been doing this long enough. It's time. Let's go to this next level. Oh, take my credit card. And so maybe if you're in that phase as well, and you know that you need a little bit more hand holding, or it's like going to the gym, right? It's way easier to get to the gym if you have somebody there waiting on you. If you have a friend there that's like, hey, I'll meet you there at 5, like better be there. Like, don't cancel on me more than once. Like it makes you show up. And so that's what my small group coaching is. It makes you show up. It makes you do the thing. And if you miss every once in a while, it's totally fine and people do. And I've realized that now. I'm like, oh wait, like we're going to have, the majority of people on, but there's almost always one person gone because sick kids, or they're on a mural project that they have to do, or it's like, that's fine, which is why I've extended it for the entire year. So the small group that I'm coaching right now, I gave them a really good special of extending it for the entire year. And I'm so glad I did that because these are busy seasons. There are busy seasons, there are slow seasons. And some are doing all the things I'm asking right now. And some are like, hey, I have to finish this commission, or like, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, no, it's okay. This whole thing is a year-long commitment, but you don't have to show up every single week. Like I'll still be here. If you miss too many, I'll be like, hey, where you at? Like I'm going to hold you accountable, but it's not mandatory. But it is like, it's very suggested, and they're spending money on it. So they're going to show up and they're getting value from it. And I'm making sure that they are succeeding. Like it is my mission. Like every single one of my small group coaching people will at least make their money back within, my goal for everybody is a month if they are going to do everything that I asked. And some have, They've done everything I asked though. But the ones who have missed several meetings, then it's going to take them a little bit longer. But I'm like, okay, guys, like I need better stats. So I'm pushing them to make their money back by the new year. And then I'm going to report back that everybody made their money back within 2 months. That's my goal. But for anybody that's joining January 1, if you want some help and you want small group coaching by me, then I am extending it for the entire year. It's $3,500 for the year. Divide that by 12. That's what? I don't know. It's a few $100s a month. It's not that bad. And I am doing a guarantee that if by the end of the year you don't at least make back your investment, I will continue to work with you because I know that my strategies work, and I know that it will. So, however, if you come on and you don't do anything, and then at the end of the year, you're like, "Oh, I want my money back," I'll be like, "No, like I need to see effort. Like you need to, I need to see effort that you've actually done what I'm asking you to do. And then if you don't make anything by the end of the year, which I'm going to say this is going to be impossible. If you don't do what I'm telling you to do every single week, or at least every other week, like if you do that, you're going to make money. You're going to build your business. And not only that, like I'm all about this. From the small jobs, you get the big jobs, but I meet you where you're at. If you've never done a small mural job before, that's where we're going to focus because the small jobs go to the big jobs, and the small jobs also serve as examples for big jobs. But if you have already done the small jobs and you don't want to do window painting, no big deal. I'm not going to push window painting on you. Hey, let's focus on the bigger jobs. And so I'll show you what I'm doing to get the bigger jobs and how you can do them too. So that's it. That's all I have for you. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I did my very first video podcast. There was a couple times where I had to stop and I was like, okay, wait, what am I talking about? But majority, I made it through. Okay, great. Hopefully YouTube likes this. I don't know, but look at me putting myself out on a limb and trying new things. Hopefully that inspires you to do the same. But again, if you just have decided that you need more help and if you want to make more money this year. So if you want to join me in doing 100K in 100 days, I'm doing that within my small group coaching every step of the way. I'm going to show them exactly how I'm doing it and hold people accountable to do it right along with me. And yeah, I would love to coach you. So let me know if you have any questions. There's a link here. You go to artistacademy.co. You can go to the membership and see all the things that I offer, book all the things that are at artistacademy.co. Or if you go to artistacademy.co/2025, that's where you can get the small group coaching. And I'm only offering it, we start January 1st. So after January 1st, you're not going to be able to join. Or if spots fill up, and then you're not going to be able to join. So it's really first come, first serve. So let me know if you want to be coached by me this year, either in a group setting in the membership and go through all the videos that I've already made, or if you want to have a little bit more handholding and more accountable to the small groups. Yeah. So we're doing 100K in 100 days, and I'm going to do it. I know you can do it too, or whatever you want to set, like a 50K in 50 days, or whatever your goal is. We can work backwards and I can help you. I'm getting help. So I am the example that if you want to make 2025 your year, I think that pulling out the stops and just making sure that you are going to hit those goals in whatever way you need to. And I'm here to help you. So, okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this first video, Artist Academy podcast time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. If you could do me a huge favor and share this episode on social media if you liked it, or share it with a friend, or so. I'm trying to get the word out to as many artists as possible to be able to help coach as many artists as possible through the art and business wisdom that is shared within these episodes. I so appreciate every single time somebody shares an episode or a clip or whatnot on Instagram and tags me. I'm like, oh, people are listening. That's so cool. I also appreciate when anybody messages me and tells me, hey, that episode really helped me do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, good. Love it. So I just wanted to say I appreciate it when any of you do that. So Thank you. I also wanted to remind you that if you are not where you want to be in your art business, you're not making the money that you want to make yet. And if you've been going at it a while and you're like, okay, this isn't going as fast as I wanted, or I'm just not receiving the results that I wanted, then I want to challenge you to think like, what other thing could you be doing? Could you be stretching yourself a little bit further? Could you be going out of your comfort zone a little bit more? Or maybe it's time to hire help of somebody who's been there and has done that and has been through the challenging times that you have and has made videos on how I've gotten through it and how I've done things better and all the behind the scenes within my Artist Academy membership. It's only $37 per month, cancel anytime. And it showcases everything that I have learned in my art business. And it helps you learn to get there a little bit faster or a lot faster in terms of some of my students who I have helped quit their jobs and go full time. And some even make six figures. We have plenty of six-figure episodes here on the podcast if you want to dig back into those as well. But the resources are there and it's up to you to know what you need, especially going into 2025. If 2024 did not go the way that you thought it would, or it's just freaking slow growth, maybe there's something you can add. And whether it's the membership where you can dive into content at any time, or I have this other small coaching group that I meet with every single week. So every Monday we meet and I give you a task of something to do that week that will help grow your art business the ways that I'm doing it too. So I'm basically just telling you, hey, I'm doing this week within my art business. How about we all go out and do this? And then I'll hold you accountable. And then I'll check in with you next week to make sure you did it. And I'll be here for you directly in this small group that we have. Currently we have 6 and I'm opening up maybe 6 more spots, maybe 7. I don't know. But I want to take on another small coaching group because I'm seeing the impact that it has on my own business and the people who are in it. And I really like this. I like the energy that comes with every Monday meeting with other artists and talking strategy and figuring out how we can both make more money in our art business. So if you're not scared to make a bigger investment than $37 a month, which is the membership, if you're not scared to make a slightly bigger one to get the bigger jobs and have more accountability because you've decided that 2025 is the year you are going to do it no matter what. That's the energy that I want in this small coaching group. That's the energy that I want around me all the time. It's, hey, I'm doing this. I'm going all in, not at the sake of family time and free time and all that. But like, I am going to be super productive in the time that I need to be. And I promise I'm going to do exactly what you say. Like, then I want to invite you to join my small coaching group. We meet every Monday and you can be personally coached by me all year. Go to the link here. I have different links for if you want to just apply for the $37 a month membership. If you want to go into the small group coaching and get more information, I have everything. All the links are here. So you can go to artistacademy.co or artistacademy.co/2025 is for the small group coaching. But just check the notes and you will see all the things. Okay. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. I will see you next week.